two massive fucking light bulb moments. Massive just happened while you were talking. This is the hard work that I've been avoiding.
I got a message from my buddy Blake yesterday, 28-year-old entrepreneur from Newport Beach, running a $40 million empire. But the thing is this, there are some major choke points in his business that are holding him back from getting to the next level and just having time to enjoy his life.
What we're really trying to build here is trying to live a really fucking good life. I couldn't enjoy Hawaii. The whole time I was there, I was just sitting there and I'm like, motherfucker, this is too much.
Do not say that shit anymore. Everyone who's young sucks at this shit.
Yeah.
Burnout is a bitch. When you find yourself constantly running on fumes, something is wrong. You don't seem patient, right? Dude, just like slow down a bit, right? Like slow is smooth, smooth is fast. You need to like systemize this.
Sure.
And then it's like, yeah, then go get that fucking big 100 mil thing.
I think that's 100% right.
I told him to come sit down here in Williamsburg. We're gonna go chop it up, help him on a whiteboard, understand his overall business, his objectives, and then help him get his business to the next level and get his time back so he can just enjoy the journey. Let's get into it.
Business
basically
objective?
getting into, both business, and we can start with like the three kind of pieces of the portfolio.
Sure. I think we can start with, let's call it just Mr. 4 to 8.
Yeah.
So like my personal brand has been attached to the Airbnb coaching business for a really long time. At its peak, the Airbnb business was doing like 1.7 million net per month. And then at its trough, about $250,000 per month. Right now it does about 300,000 a month. I'm trying to make a decision between, do I try and steady state an education business of Mr. 4 to 8 and try and steady state some of the content stuff, which would maybe, and have it maybe even increase to like 400,000 or 500,000 a month, like profit, while also trying to make a decision between, is Mr. 4 to 8 the big thing still? Can I continue to go bigger and bigger with content? Is there a lot more profit to be made there? And if I were to either introduce a new offer that is a new B&B offer or a new complete separate offer, could it get to $1 million a month? Could it get to 1.5 million a month? And is that the better decision to put my time between, right? So it's timing.
And on the revenue side, you're looking to get that to ideally.
If it's steady state, I'd like to get it to 500,000 a month. If I was working on it full time, I'd like to get it to $1 million a month profit. Right now, I'm feeling out of alignment, not necessarily because 100% I just don't believe that Airbnb arbitrage as a business model works. When I started, it was Blake, the guy that's starting with Airbnb, documenting the journey of how we got here. Mm-hmm. Now I've got one of the biggest Airbnb portfolios in the United States as a single owner. At the same time, if Airbnb is out and they're just like, people are not really feeling it, then the personal brand dies with the business model. Making a decision on the offer side of things, do you pivot out of Airbnb? Is the pivot soft, more to a higher ticket, high area of expertise?
I was curious to understand kind of a couple of things, which are like, maybe like the criteria. You know, my criteria when I'm going and building anything, I think we may have talked about this on the call the other day, is like, it needs to be able to get to $5 million of revenue a year within 2 years. I need to be able to work from anywhere doing it. I need to love the problem. I need to love the customer.
Right.
There needs to be like founder product fit. Like it needs to be something that like feels right that I'm doing.
Right.
I need to be in integrity with it. And it needs to feel like something I feel really good about and that I'm thrilled to sell. I need to be able to see myself doing it, ideally for like the next decade, not just like the next year.
Yeah.
I need to be able to build the thing in 3 months or less. What are some criteria that you have?
My criteria is, as of now, like I have to feel like I have an edge. Like the edge is something that puts somewhat of a clock on me, where it's like, maybe I don't have this edge longer than everybody else, but for this moment of time, I can push it farther or harder than somebody else.
So one of the most important things to Blake, right, is this idea of time. But before we go and figure out, well, what do we need to be removing Blake from? We first need to understand, what does his dream week look like? If he was able to just get rid of all obligations he has right now, right? And imagine he was even retired and able to work on anything he wanted. Pick his ideal morning, his afternoon, his evening. What would it look like? You know, what are the things that he wants added to his schedule? And what are the things that are really draining his energy that we need to remove? From this next system I'm about to show him, he's gonna get that clarity necessary so we can figure out what we need to be going and supporting Blake with, so he can have that dream week every week. Your dream week, like say it's 6 months from now, right? You know, you have the systems in place, you have a lean team in place, you have a new offer. Like, how do you want your week to look like?
I think that the AM for me is the most important time of the day. And if maybe 5 to 6 days a week, if I had a minimum 4-hour creative time block where it was solely dedicated to creative tasks, you know, writing content, creating content, that's where I find my most pleasure. Afternoon would be a great time to be able to spend a couple hours eating good food, hiking, gym. PM, I don't have much good work that happens in the PM. So for me, PM would be, a couple times a week. I would say 2 times a week, being able to play soccer or do tennis, sunsets, go to bed.
Yeah.
Time, like a 2 to 3 hour wind down.
Cool. What are the areas now that are currently kind of like the blockers?
I think that because I have so many energy draining tasks that I have to do, and also actually quite a bit of front loaded work that has to be done soon in order to get to that point, right? Mm-hmm. So as of now, there's just I'm out of alignment with the content. I'm out of alignment with the offer. I have this goal of building this other new business right now while letting this other one not die and maybe even grow at the same time. I'm not a good manager. I can tell you what the dream and vision is, but I can't get you bought in long term, because what I do is I'll hire you, tell you something once, and then I just end up thinking, oh, you did it wrong the first time. Let me just do it myself. You're fired. To add to this whole big picture of criteria and things like that, whether it's for hiring and for me, is I do the best when I'm fucking curious. I need to be curious, and so do the people that I hire, because if they're not curious and it's just a paycheck, then I'm not good enough, but I haven't done enough managing people yet to be able to get them to be so bought in that they push the needle.
Sounds like the big domino, kind of the main thing that if you got that right would make everything else kind of easier or unnecessary, would be, first off, figuring out this offer. Because right now it sounds like you're kind of in this a bit of a standstill or a holding pattern. And then also a creative side too. You're I'm doing this thing.
So where the fuck am I leading?
What am I creating for this? And what am I leading them to? And where's this going? And then it's leading to just big questions, right? Transitions in life can be terrifying. You're on one opportunity and you know that there's something bigger there that you could go and be ripping and getting onto, but it's scary, and one of the big references that I have for this is this idea of being Tarzan in a jungle. But in this next clip, you're gonna see me going and helping Blake understand how he can go and effectively remove himself from the operations of his current opportunity over the next few months, and then set himself up to go crush it on this big, hairy, audacious goal he has over the next 10 years of his life.
So there is this overarching, the angle and the concept to me is I'm riding the train down. I'm seeing the success rate of everybody across the space, not Airbnb, but arbitrage, continue to go down. So I don't love that, because I can sell shit on a wall, but it's still shit. I don't want my personal brand to die. I want it to be something that's on the up and up. And I really want it to, on the new side of things, for it to embody the next chapter of my life.
You have all of these different business models, right? So let's just say, you have the Airbnb evolution, you have a new info product for these people, you have purchasing Airbnbs for folks, you have a more service-based offering, let's say. All of your criteria here, basically I put it in a Google sheet. And then I would just go and rank each of these things on a scale of 1 to 10 of how does each of those opportunities you're thinking achieve the given criteria. Is it scalable? Sure. Right? You're okay, it's a 10 scalable.
Product market fit.
Right. The next one is okay, info, is that scalable? Yeah, that's a 10. Okay, purchasing, is that scalable? Maybe not as much. Right. Let's say it's 7. Doesn't make it a deal breaker yet. And kind of keep going down the list and going to the next opportunity. Let's say it's the service-based one. It's okay, how's that on scalable? Decent. Let's say it's an 8. How's that on the existing audience? Oh yeah, it's solid. Are you in alignment with it? Yeah, you like it. And so now you're kind of basically formulating for those opportunities, almost like an alignment score.
Sure. I think that what's killing me, the underlying gut punch and the two thoughts that just continue to run through my mind on creating a new offer is I feel in my head, the squared version that we were talking about, the new offer, is the business that I want to build, the publishing one that I feel it's so private, can't talk about it. That's the big thing. It would never be front facing. Some of it is keeping just money coming in from the Mr. 48 side. And then the other thing is but is there a shitload of money there that I'm passing up? Or is the big money over here, go get this on a regular offer, done for you, steady state, pretty hands-free, content still good. Yeah, Blake's kind of doing this thing, and behind the scenes, it's holy fuck, you guys have no clue what I'm building.
Yeah, I see it as two separate things. So
okay.
I see it as like I have this like ridiculous analogy of like when we're kind of like transitioning from like one opportunity to the other. It's like fucking like Tarzan swinging in like the jungle is kind of how it feels like. And you're like on one vine, you like capture the other one, you know, you swing back with both of them. Then you like let this one go and then like swing onto the new one. And so you're in this stage right now where you kind of have latched onto this one a bit, but you're now swinging back. You need to like systemize this.
Sure.
Right? Which is like what we're talking about right now. And then it's like, yeah, then go get that fucking big 100 mil thing.
Right.
But from my understanding of talking with you, it's like, we want to first like systemize this thing, get it steady state, all that. And that doesn't mean we're saying no to this. It's actually, I view it as it's all one part of the journey.
Sure.
Like you actually are building that right now. But building that right now is like taking the cash flows from this, setting this thing up. It's pumping you cash. That allows you to even maybe invest bigger in this.
Yep.
Right? Because you're like, oh shit, we're just like, to shut this down, I'm saying no to like potentially 400K profit a month that I could be investing a quarter of that, even 100 grand into this new thing to then blast it off way faster. So setting this up is like almost a seed round.
It is.
Or a series A for that thing. So they are two separate things. You're going to do them both, but there's a sequence of events that can happen that gets you the most amount of leverage to do it.
Really good way to look at it. I think that's 100% right. I think it's because I can't fucking do everything that it's easier for me to hit refresh.
So my team here at FounderWise is around 20 people strong now. But the truth is, it didn't start like that. You know, it first started with just me, chief everything officer, trying to do everything myself. And when I first started scaling the business, I started hiring for where the pain was. So if there was pain and I didn't want to send an invoice, I'd hire a finance manager. If there was pain and I didn't want to write the landing page copy for something, I'd hire a copywriter. And gradually I started to form this organization over the past few years. And so where Blake's at right now is that there's no one on his company that's able to go and help him get his time back. And so first things first, we need to model out what does his org chart look like? We need to be more intentional with the hires that we need to support Blake and then help him get back his time day by day. What's the team necessary to like make this vision happen? I think like for me, there's been this shift over the years of, again, viewing myself more like an asset manager and like a smart investor and less of an entrepreneur. And so trying to look at it like, okay, like the people that I surround myself with and that I bring on my team are an investment. Right? The systems that I put in place are like an investment, right? They get stood up, they get put in place, and then like they're good and they just cook. And most of them produce a lot of cash. Because here's what you're dealing with right now, right? Which is why I think it's good to bring these people on like now. ASAP. Is like, do you think it's the first time you're going to evolve an offer? Hell no.
No.
Do you think it's the first time you're going to build a webinar for Shelby or the next thing? Hell no. Do you think it's the first time that you're going to go and like listen to the community, survey them, look at the data of the survey, go and understand, oh, what's the shit that would really pump it up and make these people more stoked? Cool. We're going to prioritize based on, you know, least effort, most impact, and stuff that we can build in 3 months or less. No, this whole process you're about to undergo is probably what almost all the offers that you're ever going to do, because you're going to be this info guy. You're going to have to do this shit every 4 months. But it'd be nice if next time it's like, snap the finger, you know, implement offer evolution, cool, weapons go. They're like, oh, offer evolution, follow the SOP. You know the deal. We go to the community, we survey them, then we understand what their biggest problems are. We rank them from most pain, most impact for them, least effort for us, most dollar value. Then we go, we bring back Blake our report. Blake goes on a fucking rant on FaceTime, tells us what the fuck is up. He says like, dislike. Then we go, we just motor around, we go implement that shit. We go and we implement that. Blake always expects that we evolve an offer within 3 months. Cool, done, next, right? And it's like a little fucking attack squad that does this stuff. I wouldn't necessarily say this exact thing if I didn't believe the fact that you will be this like info product mogul in like over the next 5 years. And so if you've like kind of picked a space and every single thing you're about to do is like in that space, then start to build and operationalize like all of these things that are parts of this space. Workshops, webinars, newsletters, social content, copywriting, hiring, firing, all this shit is like, you're gonna just keep doing this for the next 5-10 years of your life. So the sooner that you aren't the only person in your company that can do all this shit, the better. 2
massive fucking light bulb moments. Massive just happened while you were talking. Never made sense to me. Like I always looked at SOPs, people that use Notion. I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot. Like you're using Notion all day. Like you're not getting anything done. You're just doing nothing. Or SOPs. Yeah, I'm gonna go record this to go find some Filipino contractor that has no fucking clue what they're actually doing. Go pay him $700 a month. Have to go send in this video. But actually it takes a little bit of taste to know that you got to change this, that, and the other. Like that was how I looked at SOPs, hiring, firing, managing. And I think that too, like one of the things that becomes like a little bit less of a ego blow is like the amount of times that I've told people, I'm not good at hiring, firing, managing.
I was thinking that. Do not say that shit anymore.
Yeah.
I saw, when you were saying that, I was like,
talk.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a bullshit identity. Like everyone who's young sucks at this shit.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's
I'm not young anymore. I'm like almost fucking 30.
No, you're young. But like everyone sucks at that for a bit. Like it's just totally, obviously you only learn that shit from experience. I still learn all the time. I make a bad hire, I'd say every 4 or 5 months probably, just from the sheer amount that like you're working with people, you're trying things out, you're growing the business. The person that was good for one stage isn't good for the next stage. It's totally natural. Like you're definitely capable of doing this. And you're probably also gonna make a bunch of mistakes like we all do. But that's actually that is the process of hiring. So operations, big word, everybody needs help with it. Almost every founder wants to be removed from it, but hardly anyone has an idea of who to actually bring on. Building businesses, initially, you hear about these people going and hiring someone overseas as an executive assistant. And trust me, I have tried that. The truth is though, when you're scaling an empire beyond $10 million, you need a lot more help than an executive assistant. And in this case, I wanted to give Blake the details on a couple core hires that I think he needs to make that are exclusively focused on buying back at least 20 hours of his time back every single week. So he can build a business he loves and not just be running himself into the ground, right? And so when you look at your team, just to talk about the major parts of it, because there's a couple core aspects that have come up, obviously isn't the whole team, but I think just to talk about kind of two departments at least for a sec, you have sort of ops, and then you have content, let's say. I would consider hiring and bringing on even 2 people in this area. The reason being is that at least if one person sucks, you have one person. So you don't end up training up and doing this whole process. You have one person, then they leave and you're like, God damn it, I'm back to square one again. The 2 people I back a napkin is high level, it sounds like you may need a chief of staff type person. And then I think you just need literally a role just called operations. It's just someone that has low ego, that's a fucking beast. And it's just dude, I fucking love your shit. Kind of like that Russian video editor. Yeah. Literally that. You just need that in operations. The, purchasing part, the alliances, the service-based stuff, depending on what you end up choosing. It's not just you that ends up knowing how to do that. These people know how to do that.
So good.
As an asset manager again, right? Everything's an investment. Right? So let's just say these 2 people, they cost $20K a month, $240K a year.
Yep.
But if they go and spin up this offer and help you with a future offer, let's just say back a napkin, if I was putting a number on that, the right people would probably easily make me $2 million a year.
Sure.
So your ROI on that's 10x. So it's a no-brainer investment.
I've always looked at ops and the chief of staff, the operations, things like that as stuff that you have to go find somebody in an adjacent offer or space and go tell them, hand it off and be go do this thing. So I just thought it was impossible.
One thing I think that you've gotten caught up in is, again, it comes back to the mindset piece. As annoying as cliche as it is, it's it's the offer. People say it's the team and all that, but it's not clicking. And I think that's what happens potentially when you're yeah, but I don't know how to hire. I'm not good at this.
Yeah.
Or you end up just creating these blockages 100%. And a lack of openness to understanding. And even if you don't understand, just asking questions, how would that work? How could we do this? Who would you hire? How would you find those people? You'll be good at it, because the best part of this for guys like us is hiring is a funnel. Hiring's a funnel.
It is, yeah.
You get a bunch of fucking leads. You put an application out there, you sort through applications to see which ones look legit. You have them send you a 5-minute Loom video as part of the interview, before you even talk to them. You just watch some Loom videos of people that you think are legit. A few people really stand out. You get on a call with them. You go through your interview questions and all that. You then have them complete a challenge. That's a challenge that you would actually you should give people a challenge of remake this offer. Do it in a way that hits these criteria I have and see what people come to you and you're holy shit, that's good. When you're thinking about getting your time back, it can become a little bit foggy, right? Time can have a way of just being stolen from us daily. The time audit system that I've created allows you to go really understand all of the tasks that you have going by looking at your notes as well as your calendar and getting way more intentional about each and every task that you could automate, eliminate, or delegate. And so I wanted to go and share this with Blake because I think that the devil's in the details. And when we go and look at every single task that he's doing himself, it starts to become obvious the kind of things that we need to remove from his plate and then go and delegate to people like a chief of staff and an operations person on his team. One thing that can be useful for you as you're just even thinking about this on just a very simplistic basis is like, you may have heard this before, it's like a time audit system. This can feel really annoying, but if you understand what you're doing, then it's like insanely rewarding. Okay. So what I would do is you're going to have like a Google Sheet and I can give you a template. And what you're going to do is you're going to have the first column, you're going to just put down, probably even on a weekly basis, audit your calendar and your task list. What is everything you did that week? Like different meetings you've had, different tasks you've given people, different tasks that you've done, everything. You're trying to mostly pay attention to the stuff that you're doing. Right? So like you made this workshop deck for Shelby, you made this email thing, you then made a piece of content, then you made a carousel for Instagram, but then you made a story. Keep listing all the things you're doing. And that's the first step, is just list like all of the tasks you're working on.
And the time commitment as well?
You could do that too, but mostly the tasks, like just keep it simple,
so
that you don't like get lost in like so much stuff to do. So you have the tasks. Then you have your energy level. And you don't need to do this every time, but like audit the tasks. On Friday, I'll look at my calendar, look at my task list of all the things I got done, and I add all the tasks here. Then look at and mark down the energy level, right? Did it give you energy? Was it neutral? Right?
Drain.
And did it drain your energy? And you just have a drop down there and the template I'll give you has this. And you're just marking that down.
Yep.
You don't need to think too much about this. You just put the fucking task down, put the energy levels down.
Yep.
That's like step one. Then what you're going to have is in the sheet, you'll see this. You'll have these like 3 columns. You're going to have like, can you automate this? Can you eliminate it? Or could you delegate it? Right? So starting to kind of then go and look at every single task you put down, and maybe after you've done this for say a month or 2 weeks even, doesn't matter, you're then gonna indicate, okay, could you automate this? Okay, yeah, I could automate this one. Can I eliminate this? Elimination's the best, because there's probably just a bunch of shit you're doing that you're like, why am I even doing this shit? It's like, just eliminate all that stuff. You're gonna look at automating, and then that's like an interesting list, and then your delegation list. From there, you have these like ops roles you're looking for, right? These ones. You're going to have a bunch of tasks on this list that you're going to mark like delegate. Like I shouldn't be doing this shit.
Right.
That's all the stuff that should become part of the job descriptions for these roles. And so now you've marked down like all these things, anything from big tasks to small bullshit. And then you've put like, okay, this is going to be, chief of staff is going to do that. Ops is going to do this. Ops is going to do this. Chief of staff is going to do this role or this task. You're slowly from auditing all of your time. What are you spending it all on? You're seeing all the shit that's draining your energy. You're seeing the stuff that you're like, okay, I should definitely be delegating this. And just delegating all the shit that's either like neutral, drains your energy, and the stuff that you need to delegate. And from that exercise, it doesn't become this like, oh, I'm bringing on a chief of staff and they're going to manage my calendar and they're going to manage projects and make SOPs. No. Just get them working on the shit that you hate that you need to delegate.
What's starting to become abundantly clear is this is the hard work that I've been avoiding. In my head, it's like the hard work. I just kept like telling myself every other excuse about hiring, systems, that everybody bloats, nobody does it lean still, nobody's as good at copywriting. How could somebody like jump in and do operations if they've never done what I've done in this industry? Like, it's fucking stupid. Now that I see it written out, it's like, it's good, but it is kind of a wake up call that like, fuck, how long have I been kicking this can down the road?
The feeling of knowing that like when you do go and take those 3 days off, or you take that week trip with your girlfriend and then thinking that you got to come back and there's just a mountain there waiting for you, it's like, it's dreadful. You can barely even enjoy the vacation.
Yeah. I couldn't enjoy Hawaii. The whole time I was there, I was just sitting there and I'm like, motherfucker, like, this is too much. I should be able to enjoy this.
Burnout is a bitch. The amount of times that I've just been going with blinders on, and then sure enough, hit a wall. There's hundreds of times this has happened, quite honestly. While it's fine if it happens, here and there, maybe from time to time, that can be normal, right? We all just need a break. But when you find yourself constantly running on fumes, and you get that 4-day break and you feel like you still need more because you keep coming back to a company that is pure chaos, something is wrong. I think all founders at the end of the day want to run a calm company. You want to run a business where you can take 1 month away from the business and come back to a team, to a company that is stronger than when you left. But the truth is, when most founders look at their businesses, they have a business that is running them into the ground, and it's not sustainable, because the most important thing to me, it's longevity. Now, I'm not looking to just win over the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years. I want to win over the next 20 years, 30 years, and just keep doing things I love for the long term. I wanted to chop it up with Blake on this idea of sustainability and how to stay in the game, manage his energy, and make sure he's feeling good for the next decade, because he's got a big vision and I want to help him get there.
I would say current offer, right? Which is, let's call it BNB Plus. This is my software and arbitrage. I have the new potential offer, which would be the DFY service. Let's call this 3K. Let's call this 35K. But now from a tactical standpoint, as I'm getting all these things in place and I want to have a better offer here and maybe increase the price there and build this offer, do all this new stuff and just keep pushing the same shit and just evolving it as it pushes.
Yeah, I think that with all of this, it's not going to happen overnight, right?
Of course.
And so I think it's day by day chipping away at this stuff. The key thing is to not try to do too much new stuff.
Sure.
In terms of new offer this and new that, reduce the surface area of stuff you got to do to the minimum amount possible.
I feel like once every 4 months I crack this and I'm end up having the best fucking week of my life. But I look at all this stuff, I hate to keep taking your space.
I don't need.
I look at all this shit, and then you add in, let's call this girlfriend, and then you add in travel, and then you add in lifestyle, then you add in health, then you add in new business ideas and all that shit. The problem is how I look at time. It's what it feels like to me. It's we were talking earlier about all the other things that go into just it's not just about courses or any of this stuff. It's what we're really trying to build here is you and I on some level trying to live a really fucking good life. Build cool shit, have fun doing it, do it with cool people, get to go travel and explore shit that when I look at some of, startups and types of businesses where I'm yeah, okay, $1 billion and what? And what? You haven't fucking done anything. You're out of shape, 2 divorces, kids don't fucking know you, big house. And I've been in big houses. I don't like when I don't know when there's too many bedrooms, So it's this time concept of, I think when I get the new biz idea that there's no time. No, none. Because it's this idea is gonna flee. And with BNB Plus, well, there's no time because I don't have time to create content because there's no time over here. And it's just this big stress circle where it almost seems like you're saying remove addition by subtraction, but on a granular fucking level.
Mm-hmm. You don't seem patient.
No.
Right? And I'm not patient either, but you can tell that some of it's kind of really eating at you and your ability to
Sure.
do this right. Because you're this now, a new thing now, and how do I get this now? Fuck, now I'm bring on these people, but what about this new thing? And when I don't do that new thing, it's going to phase away. I think patience, that's something I've had to learn. Just literally from just fucking hammering it in myself.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just slow down a bit, right? Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Number 1. 2 is the opposite of what you think could be equally as true, if not more true. So I'll say it one more time. The opposite of what you think could be equally as true, if not more true than what you think. So as an example, you think, oh, this opportunity is going to phase out and this, that. Maybe it's a timeless opportunity.
What if AI was so good in 6 months?
Yeah, that it actually
better.
lays it up for you.
Yeah.
Google was the 17th search engine. It didn't have to be the first.
Right.
It was the 17th. So it's not necessarily true how you're viewing, as an example, that one new thing. Maybe that's not the case.
And that's something that's been eating me.
Yeah,
and
also you've also said in a good way, I'm kind of have this out in the ether and I'll know it when I see it.
Sure.
And right now you haven't seen that yet. So
right.
Just waiting and sitting on your hands, again, like a good investor, right? Like Warren Buffett pays like 98% of his time, he's just sitting on his hands, right? Like being okay with that, like sit on your hands, reinforce the cash cow, make the cash cow badass, remove yourself from the cash cow until something like calls you like crazy. And you're like, all right, now I'm ready. And I got the squad to allow that to happen, which is awesome. Like real shit. And the other thing that I think that you don't have people on your team, it sounds like purely like these people, that their core metric is your time. Like my sister's metric is literally allow me to have 20 hours of creative work per week. Like that thing that you said, your whole morning, that you're like, I want 4 hours every morning.
That's her fucking job.
That's not your fucking job, right? Like do not let that get interrupted. So like no meetings before that. Also like if people are coming in for shit, fucking figure it out, right? So that happens every day. I always get that time. There's never any screwing with that, right? You don't have people right now that I think understand even on like an energy level with you, yo, I fucking need this. Like this business needs this. My life needs this. You are coming on board to make this happen too.
It's just interesting that you voiced like that being the priority thing as like the preface to these hires of like your fucking job. Like I'm going to give you these tasks to do with the overarching goal of it's my time that I'm trying to get back so that everything moves better.
Yeah.
Amazing, dude.
Cool. Yeah. In terms of next steps, I think step number 1, time audit system. You got a big flight, like 4 hours. So looking at your calendar, opening up your notebook, putting all the tasks down, and then going through your energy audit. What stuff gives you energy? What's neutral? What drains your energy? And then after that, wanting to mark down what stuff you can automate, eliminate, delegate. And then I would start to create V1 of the chief of staff role, as well as the ops role. Just use whatever tool is easiest for you. All the tools are
notes,
bullshit. Yeah, notes, whatever you like. And then you're gonna have those 2 JDs pretty good. I would then put those, if you want, into Claude, if you like Claude, and say like, hey, turn this into a job description. Like, and here's my business and whatever, and just talk into Claude and be like, this is my business, this is the model, this is the value prop, these are the tasks I need done, turn this into a formal JD. So now you have a Google Doc for chief of staff, a Google Doc for ops, put that on view everyone access, send that to me, send it to 40 other people on, your A-player list, share it with your audience a bit. And that's that basically.
Yeah.
And then now the key thing I would just focus is like step 1, this whole time audit system. Step 2, the hiring of these people is like a big step.
Yeah.
And then step 3 is basically then getting into the mix with them. Ideally, like they end up working 40, 50 hours a week and giving you the ability to then buy back like 60, 70 hours of your week, get some mental clarity, be able to work on bigger opportunities and be able to just like have some fun and live the lifestyle you're after.
That's the dream.
There we go.
Time back.
All right.
Thank you, brother.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
So just wrapping up that session with Blake, it feels really good to be able to help founders that are, 8 years earlier in their journey than I am and be able to share some of the core learnings that I wish I had when I was Blake's age. I really feel like when I'm helping Blake, when I'm helping other founders, I'm really in my calling in life, helping them with the sort of systems that are going to help unlock their time, help them seize their potential. And it was cool. I think Blake is someone that I've met actually through building an audience online. And it's cool to cross paths here in Brooklyn, be able to hang out, become, deeper friends. It feels good to know that I've given Blake someone that, even after this session, he needs a bit of help. He can call me. Something comes up as he's implementing the time audit system. He can just text me. There's something just really beautiful about being able to have fellow founders backs as they go and try to accomplish their big vision. So super rewarding. I know Blake got a 10 out of it and excited for the next one.